good afternoon to some, and I think it's still morning for many others. So I love partnering with Lindsay, and I haven't been a member of PFCC for a long time, but I absolutely love the group. Good to see you guys. And this group is made up of people who have lived experiences. They're patient partners, but they also have lived experiences. And when we created this tool, we thought about creating something to help those who are caring for us understand where we're coming from. Because it's one thing for you to talk to us, but we need to make sure that you understand and we know why you're talking to us. So this tool is, this map is really good to help patients realize that they need to prepare and they need to be ready to engage. Just having you engage one side, that's not an engagement. Let's talk about marriage in the real life. Engagement means that you've got two people working together. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Beverly. And when we had met about this, I asked the importance of developing a tool like this. And one of the things that you said that stood out to you was this is for planned admissions. So I wanted to see if you could talk a little bit about that. I know you have some experience with planned admissions and some examples of tools that were given to you to help you be, like you said, engaged in that process. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, as a matter of fact, Lindsay, what I love about Lindsay is she's pretty flexible. And I hate to spring this on you, but as I was reflecting on how to guide us through this map and not make it another yada yada patient story, which we can do because I could talk forever. What I really want us to do, Lindsay, is I'm going to ask you to either imagine being a patient who is preparing for a joint replacement or a gallbladder removal or whatever needs to be fixed in a hospital, whatever it is, or a family member. Or if you are a staff member or have a staff member, think about what this session would look like for a patient. So let's start there. Now, due to the time limit, I know we don't have a lot of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the map, but may go through, pretty quickly and miss some things. So, Miss G, this meeting is to prepare you for discharge after your procedure. I'm sure you want to return to the same or better lifestyle or independence that you have. So let's talk about what you might want to leave at home. That's in number one. First of all, you don't know what's anything about security. So do you need to take your tablet? Do you really need your cell phone? Do you need your hearing aids? Do you put your teeth in a glass? What do you really need to take with you, and what do you need in that room while you are there or the first day that you're there? That's number one. Also, let's talk about what you need to change in your home before you leave. Do you have a pet? Who's going to walk the pet? Will the pet be underfoot? Who's going to take care of it? How about furniture placement? Will you be able to move around if you have a rollator or a wheelchair? These are things just for you to think about. Now, Miss G, if you are having hip replacement and you have a rollator, can you get your rollator in the bathroom? Do you have a shower chair? Do you have grab bars? How low is your toilet seat? You do not want to fall in your bathroom. These are just little things for you to think about. How independent do you want to be while you're there? Who's going to drive you home? Who's available to stay with you if you need care? How will you pick up your prescriptions? And can you get to the doctor for follow-up? I know I'm going through these pretty fast, Miss G, but let's ask another thing. When they ask you for your list of medications when you go in, not only your insurance card and your ID, but did you include your eye drops, your vitamins, and your supplements? Now, admittedly, I have on my list from my doctor CBD oil. And why is it on there? Because I take it when nothing else works. They need to know what else you're taking. If you're taking a tea with black root, black grass, black anything in it, they need to know that as they give you the medication. Now let's talk about these great outcomes. We're expecting you to have a great outcome. However, who will speak for you when you cannot speak for yourself? When you come out of anesthesia, who is the one family caregiver, the one member who should tell the nurse or the doctor anything and everything that you've already told them that needs to be taken care of? What does that look like? Don't have all your family members coming in trying to make a decision at that time. Make sure it's written down so that they know. The other thing you might want to know is that your healthcare team may have beds out rounds, which means that several folks will come in and they'll be looking at you and checking out your surgery and your scars and whatever. And it may be very embarrassing. But what you need to know are their names and who is going to be continuing that care while you're still trying to heal. Now, I know, as a little footnote here, all of this is in number 1 and 2. And I'm not, you use it however you need to, but the pieces I have put in here for Miss Galley up there, are things that she needs to know before she goes to the hospital, before she's admitted, before she gives you all of her insurance information. Now, I know number 3 and number 4, medication changes and so forth. And those are important because if you've changed a brand of medication, then she needs to be watching to see if she has a side effect or if it's even working. So that's the whole thing on the medication changes. And people are coming and going all the time. These are people that a patient has never seen before. This is one snapshot in their life. And so if they don't know your name, they can't call you by name. And it's not just for complaining, folks. Remember, those surveys are going to come back and they're going to say, is there one nurse, one somebody that was really special in your life? So it could be a good thing as well. And then number 5 talks about a care plan, which does not always happen. And they need to know that you may not get a care plan. You may want to ask for a care plan. And you may want to ask what is in the care plan. Who can you call? What happens? What should I expect when I first get home? What should I expect in 2 weeks? Who is the most important person if I'm having trouble? That goes in your care plan. And who is the person who is going to pick you up? All of these things need to be in the discharge part. And that's why we talk about discharge on the front side. How are you going to make sure that when all of this procedure is over, you can get back to your home, you can get back to your life and start healing? And the one thing, and I'm going to say this to my patient partner, my PFCC folks, and to Lindsay, the one thing that hit me that we didn't put in here is be patient. And I wrote it down to make sure my final recommendation, which is not on this map, be patient and realize that this is just one snapshot in your life's journey, just one. For example, when you're ready to go home, you are ready to go home. But discharge planning is a process. Make sure that the person who is picking you up is flexible enough, because if you're discharged at 10 does not mean that you're leaving at 11. Don't fuss, just sit there, have lunch, whatever it takes until you are ready to go home, and know that you have already planned what it's going to look like when you get there. And that, Miss G, I wish you the best of everything.